Hi, my name's Kate Horton. I'm a PhD candidate in health policy in the Department of Social and Behavioral Sciences at University of California, San Francisco. I'm currently writing up my PhD dissertation research, which is on sex work and policy. And my research explores the qualitative experiences of sex workers directly impacted by laws and policy approaches that we're talking about here today. So I wanted to share a tiny bit of some preliminary findings from my work that relate to the policy issues of conflating sex work with human trafficking from the perspective of the health and human rights of sex workers. And I've been doing in-depth, extensive interviews with sex workers in the Bay Area. Excuse me. So we already know there's a lot of previous research that we've heard some of a little about that criminalizing prostitution drives sex work underground where it's less safe. Specifically, human trafficking legislation that doesn't adequately differentiate between sex work and human trafficking impacts a lot of safety measures used by sex workers. So sex workers in my research cite working together as a primary safety measure, but when people are fearful of being arrested or charged under human trafficking laws, the stakes are extremely high. Sex workers are increasingly reluctant to work together for safety for fear of being arrested under human trafficking laws. Working together for safety means having someone know where you are and where and when you should return to. So when you're faced with human trafficking legislation, the person who's looking out for you has great concerns about being reported, about reporting violence or coming forward as a witness of violence for fear of being arrested under human trafficking laws. So that obviously reinforces the need to separate trafficking from sex work in laws and policy. One other thing that I want to mention briefly is that participants in my research are largely more concerned and fearful of violence from law enforcement than violence from paying clients. We already heard that sting operations are driven by a human trafficking framework and the money behind that framework. And there's really a need to understand how this conflation of trafficking with sex work is problematic, as it's understood to actually perpetuate violence rather than protect people from it.
I'm going to ask you to do some more work. I would very much like you to send us a summary of your research. And again, Tomasa there would be the right, I've got her doing a lot of work, of follow-up work. And I really want to understand what you found and I'm hoping that it is a study where we can really rely on the numbers. The San Francisco report someone mentioned, again, that the statistics were not particularly good. I hope that they would be good from your study and understand where we may be making mistakes in what we're doing today. So we definitely want to hear from you some more, and please work with Tomasa to get us more information. Thank you.